Can you not see me at the moment? Because it says I'm live, and it says there's people watching. People are saying they can't see the stream. What? So can you all see the stream or not? Because I don't know if you're taking the piss or whatever, or you've just not. Try refreshing the thing if you can't see it. Right, you can see it. Right, okay, so they're just taking the piss. Right, okay. So yeah, the video earlier, this was for a video in a month's time, but this was, I put the segment on there because I thought I might be able to help people with it. So I'll show you the exact problem there was with this. Don't forget to like the stream, by the way. I will in a minute, history reviews, but I won't put on. So you can see through there, maybe. It's quite hard to see, but there's the oral nasal cup there, right? So that's how the oral nasal cup should be. When it was folded, the mask is folded down, the oral nasal cup had done this. So I don't know if you can see that. It's like flat. And in the instructions, it doesn't even mention unfold the oral nasal cup. So what happens is when the oral nasal cup folds in like that, it actually blocks the mask from exhaling properly. So, yeah. So if you put the mask on now, what will happen is you won't be able to get enough CO2 out the mask. So the CO2 starts building up in the mask, essentially like putting a plastic bag over your head. When that's open, it's totally fine. But the issue is obviously that the instructions don't make it clear. And obviously, you know. So yeah, look, I'll show you. It works absolutely fine. Now I open this. So as long as this is open, the oral nasal cup, it will work. So I will prove it to you. Don't forget to like the stream because I'm wearing the killer mask. Right, this is a pain in the ass to put on though, because so yeah. So it's actually exhaling properly out the valves. I don't know why you can pressure check this, because obviously these filters are pretty big. Yeah, it's meant to be disposable. So yeah, as long as the oral nasal cup is unfolded properly, it's fine. The issue is when they fold these down, the oral nasal cup folds and it doesn't even say in the instructions you need to unfold it. Annoyingly, you can't fit these back in the bags once you take them out, because I've got on my bed here the thing it comes in. It's like wrapped in foil, but there's no way you can fit this back in there once you've taken it out. So you've missed the bit where I said I was going to put the mask back on, and people were saying, "Don't do it, Mike." Yeah. Oh, this is the killer mask. Let's get that back off again. But yeah, so as long as that valve, the oral nasal cup, is open properly there, it's fine. The problem is, as said, for the people who missed it, is when you get the mask in the packet, it's folded down like that, so it won't let the air escape properly. So then when you open that up, it's fine. But yeah, that's a bit of a design flaw in my opinion, because obviously the instructions don't tell you to do that, open up the valve. And if you put this on in an emergency, and you obviously didn't think to open that valve up, you'd suffocate. Yeah, I mean, that's literally what an escape hood is. A plastic bag that seals around your neck and just has filters built onto it. They're like disposable gas masks. But yeah, personally, I don't like the idea too much of having a plastic bag over my head. Oh yeah, GP5 is certainly safer than this. Yeah, the concept of this is good. Just maybe not how they executed it. Yeah, I'll show you. So it came in this, and then it was, because obviously you will never get it back in there again. It was in this, but you'll notice in this that in no part of the instructions where it shows you what to do does it say open the oral nasal cup up. So it basically says pull it out the bag, like pull the straps back inside or whatever, like push them up, stretch that bit, put it over your head. And then see on that picture, the oral nasal cup is already open. On mine, it wasn't. I don't know what these filters are rated for. I don't know if they're full NBC protection or whatever. You can see that the seller has carefully gone over the expiration date, so you don't know how long it's been expired. But I'm assuming it would be most NBC frets because it's just designed as a disposable sort of, escape from gas mask. Well, that bit was from a longer video that I cut out for a separate thing. It also has this on the roof of the thing, which I have no idea what it's for. See this? No idea what this is for. It's just a random bit of plastic that's on the roof of this bag. I don't know if that's just so it's was weighted down in the actual thing, but whatever. Step 3, let's have a look. It's showing straps there. I mean, I don't know. Is that the cup? Because it's got straps attached to it, and I don't think the cup has straps attached to it, does it? Yeah, see, so on this, there's no straps on the cup. They're separate. On this picture, it's showing like where there's straps, so I don't know. Because I thought what they meant was like, do that and push those straps up so it's all, ready to go on. But who knows? And you can see the particle filter's already flaking apart. My XM28. Yeah, this is the thing, right? I can wear the masks which have tiny little eye holes, doesn't bother me at all. Wearing this thing actually freaks me out, especially since it nearly suffocated me earlier. So, there's that. It's a bit weird. But yeah. The GP5 itself is fine, just the filters that come with it aren't. Well, it gets warm, but this is just basically designed for a quick escape mask. Ernie Brown says, am I blocked? Obviously not, because you left a comment. No, I've tried almond milk before, Iron Man, a couple of the other nut milks, and that sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it? Nut milks. But yeah, they were all right, to be honest, but obviously I just normally drink dairy. So yeah, well, I think the stream's got a bit of a clickbait title, because that video earlier, it wasn't really clickbait, because it really happened. It did nearly suffocate me, but I've noticed that video got way more views than my normal videos. So maybe I have to think of really good titles for the rest of my videos. Maybe that's a problem. Yeah, with this thing. I've already replied to Ernie Brown, Michael. Well, the thing is, if I want to clickbait, I'd at least think of good ways of doing it. I'm not going to do, the complete shit clickbait, am I? That's cool, radioactive gas masks. I've already answered the GP5 good question. I said the mask itself's fine. The filters that come with it aren't. There's your answer. I'd rather wear a GP5 over this thing, in all honesty, even though the filters on this are probably better than the GP5's filters. What did you ask if I recommended? Sick dog. That's not a real mask, I'm afraid, Mike the streamer. Right, best gas mask in my opinion. Definitely not this one. My favourite's the Avon CT12. Yeah, that's the thing, Bing. I have a hard time working out, you know, where does the thing of clickbait? Because obviously a catchy title's good, isn't it? But you don't want it to be taking the piss. But I've still not seen the question you want answered, Sick Dog. I might have to put slow mode on if people keep spamming stuff. I don't want to really do that. This is made by Avon as well. It's just, I don't like this as much as the S10. Right, I'll have to have a team of people then that can help me think up clickbait titles, but they're actually relevant to the video. But yeah, let me put this back on then again. And I'm just making sure, yes, the oral nasal cup is open, because that's the important bit. Right. I'm personally going to put it on this way, because I think that's better than trying to pull it down over your head. Recommend buying what? Sick Dog, GP5s or these masks or what? People think that's weird or cool if you collect gas masks. Do you mean like between the S10 and the CT12 and things like that? It's the FM12 series has a smaller face piece, smaller lenses, slightly different voice diaphragm system. GP5 compared to the MC1. It depends. If you can get one in date, maybe. But, you know, personally, I don't trust this thing all that much. There's no difference, Daniel. Generally, the bigger the filter, the more resistance. No, you're not blocked, because I've been talking to you this stream. Yeah. This mask, I'd be a bit wary of it myself now. I think one of the filters might leak slightly as well. Let's get this off again. Oh. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to take this off. Avon EH20 escape hood, is it? Or something like that it's called? Yeah, EH20. Alright, I'm not going to put it on and do it, Bing, but I have shown it a couple of times. But in there's an oral nasal cup. Don't know how well you can see that. When the mask was folded down, the oral nasal cup was crushed in like that. And because the instructions didn't say, see, it's springing back up now, but because the instructions didn't say, you know, open the oral nasal cup, I just assumed this was like a rubber chin rest in there. So when obviously I put it on, it meant that more carbon dioxide was building up in the mask and escaping. Therefore, you start to suffocate. But because it's carbon dioxide, you don't immediately suffocate. You sort of get lightheaded first, which is the danger. I did one the other day of the Sean 4A1. Right, I tested it. You can see it in the video. I tested it with banana oil and it worked, but I said I'm not going to really use it. Something the Russian person says about a GP5. I don't know what he's saying. Might do, Gabby. Might not. Depends how it's been stored, but it could potentially have a lot of talc on it. Functionality, because you want it to be as comfortable as possible when you're using the mask. You missed us talking about this. The mask that wants to kill you. No, I don't, but yeah, portable heaters like that would really worry me, just because you said, because, you know, carbon monoxide can obviously, or carbon dioxide, yeah, can both leak out, which will both kill you. I mean, it depends how long your beard is. As long as your beard and hair don't go further down than the neck seal, it would be fine. But also the Polish SR1 casualty mask works like this one, but I trust that a lot more because it's essentially a GP5 on the inside. I will do some more CW, but I only do it when it's relevant to something in the news, because those videos attract a lot of idiots, unfortunately. Obviously, there's still people who watch them and enjoy them, but you always get the people going, no, you're totally wrong about this, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's reusable in the sense if the filter's not expired, you can reuse it, but they're designed to be disposable. You're not going to get any mask like that at a dollar store. I've done videos on it, just wash it in the sink with a bit of soapy water. Well, in theory, it would work great if it's set up properly when you open it. But the issue I see with it is if somebody has to get that on in a panic, you know, open the packet and put it on, the valve's probably going to be closed like it was on mine, and they're going to die. But yeah, don't forget to like the stream, everybody, because there's apparently 46 people on at the moment and only 26 likes. Yeah, that's the thing, is like all of those videos, just for whatever reason, Mike, seem to just attract people, don't they, that want to make pointless arguments about stuff. Well, it's a similar concept to the pH hood in a way, but because you won't see any talc inside it anymore, Gabby. I can't tell if you're trolling with these comments. How do I clean something? How can I tell if it's clean? Right, sorry, person speaking Russian. I asked if you could speak English and you didn't say anything in English, so bye. I have no idea, Mehis. I think they're obviously meant to last long enough that you can evacuate a building. Actually, I think it says on here. Hang on a second. Well, it might not have been on here. It might have been the instruction booklet that came with it. Let me get that. If I can find it again. There was a little instruction bit. Ah, there it is. I'm not getting a GP5 down off display. Right. Certified to provide 15 minutes protection. Test show 20 minutes protection is provided. So yeah, that's, I guess, what it's called. The EH20 gives you 20 minutes of protection. It's a CBRN thing, so it would probably work against most ABEX style threats. No, you can't really filter carbon dioxide. You have to use a rebreather or a supplied air thing. No, because the person themselves could put it through Google Translate, couldn't they? I don't have time to randomly translate random people's comments on the stream. You can shake it over a piece of paper, the White Panther, and then, if you see charcoal specks or whatever coming out, then you know it's leaking. If you're wearing it and you feel like you're inhaling dust and it's leaking. Yeah, but I think the whole point of this is that you can have it in like your drawer in a desk in a company place, and then pull it out, rip it open, put it on. But the thing is, they'd have to train you, I think, on some anyway, even if they weren't the ones you're going to use. Because I can't expect most people in an emergency to be able to get this out, open all the packaging, put it on properly, open the valves and everything while they're panicking, and they've not got long to do it. I already told you, sick dog, no. No, I don't have any self-contained. Well, I technically have some rebreathers, but I would never use those just because of all the risks with them. And I've never seen like air tank kind of things for a good price. And again, there's bits of risks with that if you haven't got ones that are in good condition. Right, tell you what, sick dog, you're getting a timeout because you keep asking, "Are you blocked?" And I say no. You're not listening to anything I say. You say something stupid again, you are getting blocked. There you go. It can be a self-fulfilling prophecy now, can't it? Right now, did you see the video earlier of me nearly getting murdered by this thing? Oh, you could use pretty much any mask for a while as long as it's like a 40mm one or whatever. Yeah, you get people, don't you, on places like that, Rich, who can't accept other people have done certain things or whatever, so they make out everybody's lying if they said they've done something, or somebody has to bullshit and say, I've done something bigger than that or whatever. No, fogging up isn't a problem. If you look at this, the lenses on this are slightly yellow, which I think means they've got some sort of anti-fog paste already put on the inside of them. The rest of the sort of thing doesn't, but those lenses do. I said the filter doesn't seem that good in this because I swear every time I breathe through it with this mask on, it seems like the filter's leaking. Like I can feel like charcoal or something going into my mouth. And that could be just me imagining it, but I'm not really going to use this mask anyway. I just got one for the novelty of getting one, but kind of just wondering if there's a way of taking these filters apart. Actually, where's my tactical pen? There it is. So I've dismantled some 3M filters that kind of had a similar system to this. I'm just wondering of these if they can. I don't think it's going to be easy enough to do it, but oh well. I was just checking that I don't think there's a way you can attach them easily from here because I thought that'd be kind of interesting if you could take the filters off of this, but without ripping it all apart, I don't think you can. Yeah, but my problem is I think that's leaking the filters on this, and you can't replace the filters. So, like, just getting a 3M half face mask would probably be cheaper than this. GP4's alright. I prefer GP5. No, I do other stuff as well as YouTube CW. No, I don't like the GP7. Well, it depends what the price is. and how much you're paying for them. Because obviously, if you're buying them on the surplus market, they're not at brand new prices. It wasn't tea; it was coffee. It was decaf because it's gone 8 p.m. so I don't really want to be drinking coffee now. Yeah, I don't know. Glow in the dark. It's just for whatever reason, lots of people always seem to want to come on and just start arguments on streams or, spam shit. Yeah, S6 is fine. The S10's a lot better though. I prefer coffee. I mean, I used to like tea a lot more than coffee, but now I just like coffee a lot more. Yeah, but it's also the other way around. You also learn how shitty a lot of company policies are as well, Rim, for when you're working at somewhere like that. So you'll learn the customer is always right. It's a horrible attitude for a staff member to be subjected to. And you also learn that companies do not give a shit about their employees as well. We're on 60 people now. Right, for those of you that didn't see it when you joined, that was the mask that nearly suffocated me earlier. I don't think I'd recommend it personally. Second hand or brand new. If they're brand new, they're going to be a few £100s or dollars. If they're second hand, like £50 to £100 or dollars. Yeah, I've got the Scott M98, which is similar to the M120, isn't it? Because you can start realizing you're going lightheaded, GP5. Because if you know what happens when carbon dioxide builds up, you'll start getting lightheaded and everything. So I was able to tell really quickly that something wasn't right. Yeah, basically Rimfer. Yeah, how it works is it comes sealed in a foil packet that's on the bed back there. Inside this, once you've obviously opened it, you can't ever get it back in here. And then what happens is you're basically just meant to rip open the foil packaging. It's designed so you don't need to open it with a knife. And then, just pull it out, expand it, put your hand in, open all the bits up and put it on. The problem is, like what happened to me earlier, was the oral nasal cup was shut like that. It's pinging back up now, thankfully. But what was happening is it was like stuck down. So I thought that was just like a little chin rest thing, because that's what it looks like. And then I just assumed the valve was there somewhere. I didn't really think about it too much. And obviously, what ended up happening was, every time I exhaled, not much of the CO2 was leaving the mask. So basically, the mask, for each time I would have a breathing cycle, more and more CO2 would go in the mask to the point of not getting barely any air. An interesting thing I can tell you about Argos lorry stuff, glow in the dark, because this is when I was there and Sainsbury's bought them out. They were basically laying off all the old drivers they had because Eddie Stobart did a cheaper contract. So obviously all the drivers were pissed off about that, but that's just another fun Argos story. I don't find wearing a GP5 all that uncomfortable at all. Again, if it's too tight, it'll be uncomfortable, and it might depend on your face shape. But I don't really find it uncomfortable, to be all in all, all honesty. Yeah, I'm glad there's so many people on tonight. Do you think YouTube's sharing my channel now because there was a video where I nearly died, and then YouTube's like, yes, that's what we want to promote on YouTube, kid-friendly platform, people nearly dying on video, snuff films. That's what I personally think. I'm quite cynical towards this. I personally think YouTube is, Oh, you mean the Talkmans or whatever they were called, where you had to say like your employee number to sign in, and then you doing repeat. Yeah, exactly. And you'd have to say like one ready, wouldn't you, and all that on the Talkman, and then they get so bad when you're using those all day at an Argos that when I was like going home, I'd occasionally say repeat to somebody by accident when I meant to say pardon or something like that, and it would really weird people out. It's because you've been like arguing with the fucking Talkman all day. Maybe I should do Harry Houdini style escape from different gas masks then. where I block the air holes and then see if I can remove them before I suffocate. I obviously wouldn't do that, and don't anybody do that. It's a fucking stupid idea. I'm just saying that, you know how the internet is. That's probably going to be more popular. For me, the Avon 6012, that's what's my favourite. Actually, saying that, I think I find the Fushida A4 slightly more comfortable, but not by much. I think I just prefer the straps ever so slightly on the Fushida. Now, I'm not planning on doing it CyberConnect. It was a joke. I'm just saying that's the way the internet is, isn't it? That oh, we don't want to get the police thinking I've got real deactivated assault guns or whatever they are. But yeah, don't people mention this earlier? You know that old parody video I did? Don't be a hater, bin that respirator. This is a deadly assault gas mask because it suffocates you. Yeah, that's really cool, isn't it? Isn't that the mask they used in Chernobyl when they went into the water bit? It could have been that mask, couldn't it? Or it was something very similar to that one. Yeah, this is an assault gas mask because it suffocates you. It shouldn't be called the escape hood. It should be called the asphyxiation hood. But yeah, the only reason I'm not going to put it on again now is, although I know I'm not going to suffocate with the oral nasal cup open, so I think the filters are leaking. Yeah, I really like Chernobyl. That's why I was just saying it just now. That's interesting. The thing is, YouTube isn't meant to promote that stuff for info, but what would be interesting is if there's a tool anywhere that like suggests when you're making a video, if you give it a rough title, what would be the most clickbaity, thing related to it. Because like I said, I don't want to actually do clickbait, but seeing how well that video got views today, as long as the title's accurate to what's in the video, that might actually help my videos a lot more, I don't know. As in, every time I keep breathing in, I feel a little bit of dust hit in my throat. Weak Texas, which makes me think that the inner particle layer of these masks maybe has a little rip in it or something on the filters. So when you breathe in, a bit of the charcoal dust is coming through the filter. But yeah, so I'm not a fan of this mask. But yeah, the thing is, I don't think masks that do up at the neck are necessarily a bad idea. Because if you had a well done mask like this, I think that is a really good idea. But as I said, you'd want something well done. Like I'd rather have a better oral nasal cup and stuff like that. Let me Google social flow. Sounds interesting. But I doubt I can get it as like, a regular person, but it does sound interesting. Of course, it's not letting me search it properly. Yeah, I tested it in the video. It worked, but it nearly killed me in the process. I don't know if you can sue your teacher. Why would you want to sue your teacher? Yeah, exactly, Rich. The sad thing is, though, with YouTube, that if you did titles like that, even if they were misleading, you would get more views. Well, you're a kid since the last time you said it, Oliver, so I don't see why it makes a difference. That reminds me of the thing people used to do as like a trolling thing, where supposedly, I mean, I don't know if this is true, like the CIA had a thing that, looked for words on websites if people put a couple of different words in combination. And, like the more of these words that were getting scored, like the more it would escalate it. So, people might put like bomb, Obama, shoot, something like that. But then they start making harmless sentences out of it. Like, I think Obama's the bomb. When he shoots, he scores and stuff like that. But it would, it would do stuff like people were doing like that just to piss off the CIA. Yeah, there's a katana behind me. I'll see if I can get it down because I don't think that one's too hard to. Yeah, this is one of the few things on the wall. But saying that, toxic dump sign will make it hard to get down. Yeah. So yeah, the katana I can get down quite easily because it's not actually, you know, like all that other stuff, got loads of stuff all surrounding it. But yeah, so Sohei katana, whatever it's called. I got it from Blades and Bows before they closed down when they were pretty cheap. But unfortunately, you know, now these probably cost a lot more. It does have a slightly rattly bit on it, but it's not going to fall apart. But that's just something worth mentioning out. You know, that bit technically should sit a bit tighter than it does, but it's not a big deal because it's not going to fall apart. But next time I visit Mike, I'll bring this one over so he can chop Zombat's head off of it or something. Yeah, thanks, Rich. Yeah, because there's currently more people on than likes, and it's always better, really, if you've got more likes than people. But it's better if people give likes and stay on watching rather than just leave the stream. Yeah, I've improved it a lot since then. But obviously, I don't want it to look too cluttered either, so I think that's good enough now with all the stuff on the wall. Yeah, 65 watching, 62 likes, 66 watching now. Yeah, I don't know why this stream's getting a load more viewers than normal, but it's nice because I think I've said before, like, for quite a while, I've been getting streams where not that many people have been watching. And sometimes it's weird because sometimes you can announce the streams a bit better. Like, sometimes I can, on a couple of different platforms, say I will be streaming at this time. And you don't get that many people on. And then sometimes you can randomly just do a live stream. It seems everybody gets a notification. But then when Mike did that Area 51 stream, you got like 1,400 people watching. Well, that was the poster I bought. That was the sign I bought. That was the sign that was bought for me, that toxic dump sign. That metal sign was sent to me by B-Store. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's nice to interact with people, isn't it, on these streams, rather than just pretending they don't exist. Right, Ghost Jesus. Here's the little bastard look that nearly did me in earlier. Yeah, Shackleton, I'm pretty sure you exist because I mention you in comments sometimes. I've got like camo stuff, Skelly Boy, but I don't really collect uniforms or anything like that. I've got a Discord for people that donate, so if they donate $1 or more once, they don't have to do it multiple times, via either Super Chat on the side or the Patreon below, they get a Discord invite so they can chat with me and other people on the Discord server. That's actually been quite good at recently, where people haven't been arguing about stuff too much. It completely depends on what kind of videos you're doing, CW, how many views you're getting, what time of the year it is. It's really hard to say. If you did like a science and technology based channel, all about like electronic components, and you got loads of views, you'd probably make shitloads. But obviously, if you do stuff that's not advertiser friendly, you don't make very much at all. Yeah, it's like I say, don't put shopping bags over your head, but let's make a mask that's literally like a really hard to get off your head shopping bag. If I can get the Shalom 4A1 out, sure. It's very easy to do. Where is my 4A1? Because I can't see him at the moment. I thought I had it in this cupboard, but I can't see it. Is it here? Oh, I think I found it. Yeah, I found it. Right, so Shalom 4A1, you want to remove the cover, very simple. Get this bit and pull it. You sometimes have to prise it a little bit, but essentially it just unclips. There we go. So yeah, that's all you do. It just sort of pushes on like that and snaps down. Then if you want to get it off, you sort of do the same thing in reverse. It depends how well it's been stuck on your mask, because with some of these sort of covers on masks, sometimes they can be really hard to get off if they've never been taken off and like grimes got stuck in the gap. Yeah, this wasn't a homemade one. This is an actual proper product. That's the thing. If I made a homemade gas mask and it nearly killed me, yeah, that would be my own fault. But this is a proper Avon mask, and I normally like everybody says I'm an Avon shill, or I'm like, oh, the S10 was such a great mask. That thing's not a great mask. Probably about 140 at this point. I don't know, Lena. It might be possible, but it depends. If the masks are similar enough and you can take them out without ripping the mask apart, maybe. But in some masks, they're like molded into the mask, so they won't come out. That's a shame, Rich. Because, yeah, from Mike, I'm only like 30-odd miles. Alright, cool. Yeah, that was just on eBay. I think the seller might have more. Maybe type gas mask sign in and see if they come up. There was one on my bed the entire time. I had this knife there because I thought I might have needed it to open the packet, but I didn't want to really start stabbing myself in the face to get the mask off. Because all you have to do is, as soon as you break the seal like that, it's fine. No, I don't think the PMK is good, personally. Like saying GP7, I don't personally like. PMK, I don't personally like. Well, it's no better than any other filter that's sealed properly. If they're charging more for it, and it's literally an identical filter to another brand's filter, you're getting scammed, really. All Myra do, apparently, is just seal the filters well, which should be a standard thing for most companies. All right, cheers, Daniel. But yeah, not a fan of this thing. All right, Colleen. I just use eBay, Skelly Boy, so I can't tell you anything other than eBay, because that's, if I'm buying a gas mask online, it's nearly always eBay. There's probably less than like 3 occasions I've used other random surplus sites. No, not always CW. A lot of the time it is around 8 PM UK time in the evening, but that's not every day of the week. I don't stream Saturdays because I'm at work Saturdays. And Mondays I generally can't stream at 8 PM sort of time. Can't answer that, Robert. I'm afraid it depends how well it's been stored, how well it's been sealed, what type of filter it is, what kind of gas it's being used against. It's one of those things you can't answer, I'm afraid. I've done a video where I've tried to explain that, but the bigger the filter, the longer it will last. The better sealed the filter, the longer it will last. Lower concentrations of gas, the longer it will last. All right, see you, Preston, if you're off. I'm waiting for some interesting questions to come up again now. I don't have any need to stream on Twitch because obviously I do YouTube stuff, not Twitch. And when I stream games, I do that very occasionally. I can just stream that through YouTube, so it makes no sense splitting the audience across several platforms. If I was like a gaming channel, then Twitch might make sense, but I'm not. You know the answer to that, Shackleton. It's a Scott GSR. How could you not know that? Yeah, there was 60-odd people on earlier, Bartos, and I think it's because of this bastard. He attracts the viewers in because they secretly want to see me die. I think that's the thing. Kind of tempted to say this one now, but the worst gas mask, in my opinion, is definitely that pewter one I've got, because the fact it just wouldn't work at all. Well, the thing is, I don't have full NBC gear in my car or anything like that, so no. I've got the NBC poncho in one of my gas mask bags, but that's like a last-ditch poncho. Obviously, if you were going around with full NBC gear, you would want duct tape to seal it at like the ankles and the wrists, but there's no point for me because I do not see any situation where I'm going to be exposed to something like nerve gas and survive. Well, it's a mask that filters gas, so yes, it is a gas mask. 2 filters there, exhale valve there, and if you're unlucky, your exhale valve doesn't open and you suffocate. So there's that. I just prefer 1 filter, to be honest, Skelly Boy. I mean, 2 filters let you breathe easier. There's pros and cons of each. It's really down to personal preference. The rarest masks I own are the C7 respirators, probably. Well, it just says CBRN on the packet, so I assume that means stuff like organic vapors, inorganic vapors, acidic gases, and ammonia. But, you know, like phosgene, chlorine, nerve agents, and everything like that. But obviously, unless you had a full NBC suit on, you're going to be a bit fucked anyway. I really don't know for worst looking gas mask, because that's really down to opinion, isn't it? What is beauty? £100 on my XM28, roughly, I think. Yeah, you see, I think Putin tried to kill me earlier, Shackleton. I think Putin hacked that thing personally to get me. Maybe it's GCHQ, I don't know. But yeah, if we're assuming Novichok is real and it's a nerve agent, yeah, it's very scary stuff, and you're fucked. So that's like the thing is, nerve agents are so deadly. It's kind of like people saying, "Oh, if a nuke went off, you know, what are you going to do to plan to survive it?" You know, if nerve agent goes off near you, you're fucked. What's the question mark for leaving Zeus? Yeah, maybe that's how he's going to pay me, CW. Putin's going to try and get people to view my YouTube channel, and that's how he's indirectly. I'm a crony of Putin. Oh yes, the deadly North Korean hackers. Yeah, it could have been them, I suppose. Maybe it was Iranian hackers. I don't know. I'm not going to get too political now, but because nerve agent goes through your skin as well as inhalation or your eyes or whatever. So if you have a gas mask on, there's nerve agent, and you don't have an NBC gear on, you're fucked because it will touch your skin and kill you. Yeah, it's the one with the bellows on, isn't it? Glow in the dark. Like the pump bellows thing. And the fucked up thing with them, apparently, is if mothers forgot to pump it, the babies would suffocate to death inside the gas mask. Because obviously the baby can't breathe, you know, strongly enough to pull the air through the filter. That's why it's got a bellows unit on. I really like Poland when I went there, Skelly Boy. But most of the countries I've been to have been quite nice, to be honest. Quite a lot of Polish masks. Let me see. Polish MC1, Polish, is it the ML it's called, which is the like GP4 equivalent? Polish MP4 and MP4B, Polish MP5, the OM14, the MUA, and the Casualty mask. I think that's all the Polish masks I've got. All right, cool, CW. Right, Novichok is supposedly a nerve agent. But this is where it gets complicated because every source says different things about it. So, but the thing was with Novichok was that it was supposedly what the Russians were using to assassinate people in the UK, but they weren't doing a very good job of it, which made it seem like, you know, one of those, let's blame Russia for things going on in the UK. Look, we don't have any evidence, but it was Russia. It depends like what you're hiding out from, General Riot. I mean, I don't really know because it depends what you're trying to protect yourself from. But oh, that's cool. Thank you, Mike. Was that the one you bought from the UK seller, but one that you buy from the US, but the seller's in the UK, so they post it from the UK to the UK kind of thing? Yeah, I went to Warsaw, Krakow, and Poznan, and a couple of other places. Gdansk. I've got a Hanway Viking axe, and I've got a couple of like actual kind of utility axes, but I don't have many axes, no. I mean, unless you count things like the halberd with the giant fucking axe head on it, but that's not really an axe, it's just a polearm. But I might do more like that, like what would I do in a certain scenario. I haven't done any of those in a while, to be honest, but the Warsaw Uprising Museum, though, saying that is absolutely fascinating. Definitely worth visiting if you go to Poland. What was the second gas mask I bought? Pretty sure it's a GP5. First was the Finnish M61. Then I think the third mask was the Czech M10M. But after that, I'm not going to really remember, because you can only really remember the first few. And then, fuck knows which order they came in after that. Yeah, I've seen The Pianist and like Schindler's List and all those sort of ones. No, sadly now I've got riot helmets, which are a bit more practical than old knight helmets, but I don't have any old like reproduction medieval helmets, unfortunately. Just before I was 18 CW, and then when I turned 18, I was able to start buying lots of stuff like that. Yeah, because obviously I was working then and had an actual proper income. As it was already asked to stream World War II relics, my 2 British C7 masks. I've not been to Berlin, but I've been to the bit in Austria where, in Vienna, where they had like the sectors between like France, Britain, and Russia and all that. Right, Oliver, you can work it out from my name. Try and work it out from my username. Now, if you don't like gas masks, don't watch videos on them. I just find them interesting. Is that the one where they try and blow up Hitler with the briefcase? I have seen that. It's right here. Dun-dun-dun-dun. With the oral nasal cup, where if it closes and your face is inside it, it blocks the exhale valve, the mask floods with CO2, and you suffocate. No, Oliver, you're a few years off by that. I don't even know I'd try and get 21 from my username. The idea behind the mask is it comes in a tiny foil packet, and in an emergency, you rip open the foil packet and put the mask on to use it to escape from a gas area. The issue is, it sounds better in concept than I think it is in reality. Well, as I said earlier, in fact, I did have a blade at hand, but I'm not going to just start stabbing my face in the mask and stabbing myself in the face to get a mask off. No, wrong again, Oliver. Well, if it works properly, you won't, because obviously it's got an exhale valve at the front there, look. It's got the oral nasal cup, which is really hard to actually show in this mask because of how it's done, but the oral nasal cup's there. But, wow, well done, Nautilus has got the year I was born, at least. "26 this year." I'm 25 at the moment, but yeah, 26 this year, in less than a month now. But yeah, the annoying thing of this as well is you can never fold it up small enough once you've opened it to get it back in the bag, which is one of those really annoying things in masks like this. That, you know, it's permanently not going back in its bag now. Bit of a history buff thing, Skelly Boy, and just because I think they look cool and everything. No, I'm going to keep it, Shackleton, because it can be my nemesis from now on. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be planning on wearing it, mostly just though because the filter leaks in it, so I don't want to keep getting an itchy throat when a bit of charcoal goes down me. It came with instructions, but the instructions said nothing about the oral nasal cup. Cheers, Marcus. But yeah, The most important bit of knowledge today is realise when you're getting carbon dioxide poisoning and to get the mask off your face as soon as possible. Because there are people saying, how do you know you're suffocating? Well, if you've ever started suffocating, it's quite obvious. Yeah, how long's it been on? 55 minutes? I normally go for at least an hour, but as there's 50 people on, I might go for a bit longer tonight, because if people are watching, there's no point going off. You know, it's just sometimes when there's a stream where there's not much to talk about, I can't be motivated to do them for much long. You can buy these for £10 on eBay if you want one. I mean, maybe if you were into autoerotic asphyxiation, maybe it would be a good investment for that. So I find them interesting, Brian. There's not really any good explanation other than that I like them. I find them interesting. I've got some Brody helmets and some other like World War II helmets. Probably history, David, in all honesty. When you say carrier bag, do you mean carrier bag as in like satchel? Out of all the ones I've got, the one the Czechoslovakian M10M came in, which is like that green vinyl coated one. Yeah, you said I'm 10, then you said I'm 10 again, so you've not got any older, have you? Yeah, exactly. They look cool. They're kind of creepy, aren't they? But as said, don't really use one like this. That might just be Roki, if I'm saying your name right, because I've done quite a lot of videos on Polish masks and stuff like that, where maybe not many other people have. I don't know. That's my only theory. Yeah, I imagine, Richard, the dreadful thing is I imagine some of them would probably, and this is allegedly, and I'm making a joke here just before I go to Gulag, some of them would probably like putting it on kids as well. But, you know, saying that in the UK now, oh, it's a bit of a dodgy thing, isn't it? Yeah, Israeli civilian masks are much better than this thing. Yeah. This is a perfectly functional mask. Right, so you're leaving Zeus if you're leaving. That's going to be like a tongue twister, isn't it? If leaving Zeus is leaving the stream, leaving Zeus, leaving. Yeah, I'll have to try and find an MSA one then. But yeah, I wouldn't really recommend this. I mean, obviously it's out of date, but still. It nearly suffocated me in the filters leak. Let me have a look at Shalon's escape hood. Let me just look through Google at some escape hoods. Maybe they call them escape hoods because you have to escape from them before they kill you. Maybe that's it. I think I'm onto something now. The Draeger one looks all right. Yeah, the MSA one looks all right. Wow. One Canadian company is selling an escape hood for $323 Canadian. What a deal. A disposable mask for $323. Oh, some other site selling an Avon. Another site selling basically the previous model from this one for $380. Would you pay more than $380 for this? I wouldn't pay $300 odd for this. Yeah, that's a good idea, Mihis. Maybe Zombot will have to wear it in one video when I see Mike. I've got a mannequin, but I'm never smashing my mannequin up because it's quite useful. There's a video on my channel called My Helmet Collection, Bartos. Watch that, and that's most of my helmets, except some I've got since I made that video. Well, as I've already answered twice this stream, Brian, my XM28, I would imagine. Wow, $560. What a deal. Most clever detail on a mask. I'm trying to think now. Because like loads of masks have Tissot tubes and things like that, so you can only really credit the first mask to put that feature on to have it as a feature. I like the thing the S6 has, where it's got that like inflatable face seal to make it fit your face better. Well, a lot of this stuff is antiques, to be honest. Yeah, I've got several NBC suits and Elegant Noise. My favourite one's the modern Polish one I've got. But in general, if I was to use one, I'd probably end up using some of the old rubberized ones, just because while they're less comfortable to wear, they're generally a bit stronger. Yeah, Richard. Oh, so I'm for fault for your mask addiction, am I? Yeah, you see, if you're spending $650 on a mask, like you say, you want to buy a World War I antique or something, wouldn't you? You wouldn't want to actually buy a disposable mask for that much money. Because Poland, where it's modernizing its military, is selling off a lot of the old Warsaw Pact gear. If it's a rubber where it's safe to use it, Benjamin, you can use silicone lubricant on it, but you can't use silicone lubricant on all types of rubber. So you'd have to find out which particular mask you've got, and then if it's safe to put silicone lubricant on, put silicone lubricant on it. Yeah. Sounds almost like it should be a horror film. This will be the last mask you'll ever need to buy, because it will kill you. Well, this thing would kill you a bit faster than asbestos, I think. I mean, I should look at the BBC more, because the BBC does nothing but clickbait news titles now. Is what better or worse, Brian? Sorry. Well, personally, I'd rather have a mask kill me over the period of 40 years or something than one that kills me within a minute of putting it on. Oh, yes, it's the trailer thing. In a world where Weapons and Stuff 93 nearly got suffocated by a mask. Probably die, Robert, unfortunately, is the real answer to that. Unless you've got full NBC gear on and all the stuff, you're dead. In theory, if you've been contaminated, you can be injected with atropine, but that's quite bad on itself. Ouch. How did you manage to hit that? Was that just like walking through a narrow doorway or something? Can you hide in a big plastic bag? What, hide from nerve agent in a big plastic bag? In theory, yes, but don't suffocate yourself in it. I mean, maybe I could do a video on the improved body condom where I buy a massive refuse sack, cut a little hole so I can fit a mask through it, and then do a thing where you put that over you and the filter's there so it gives you protection. Yeah, exactly. You can hide from oxygen in a big plastic bag as well. There's legitimately a Czechoslovakian NBC suit from the Cold War that looks like somebody got a load of bin bags and sewed them together. I'm not making this up. I mean, I'd get one if I saw one cheap enough, just for the sheer like shits and giggles of it. But unfortunately, I've seen them, they've been quite expensive, and I'm not paying a load of money for something that is literally like a last-ditch NBC suit. Stepping on a Lego I'd prefer, because it's harder to break a toe doing that, whereas if you stub a toe, you can break your toe or get an ingrowing toenail. Well, it won't protect you from anything without the filter, but it's perfectly safe, that's what you're asking. Yeah, like essentially, imagine a giant condom from the Naked Gun, do you practice safe sex, but with a filter on it. There you go. You've got a full-body NBC hazmat suit kind of thing. The L1 and L2 suits are still a lot more comfortable than some of the NBC suits I've tried. Apparently, West German Zodiac suits are like one of the most uncomfortable ones because it's such heavy rubber that they actually put metal support beams in it, apparently. Ouch, not this. That doesn't sound fun. The worst I ever stubbed my toe was where I slipped off a pedal, hit my toe in sandals on like a wall kind of thing, and that bled from under the nail. That's cool. So they teach you how to use NBC suits in Polish school. So that sounds a lot more fun than stuff we did at school. Yeah, and I blame that mask for all these dirty conversations. The mask's to blame, not us. And when you say respect our great British values, you mean stabbing each other with knives. All right, Brutal Dodge. Did you see the mask earlier that nearly killed me? Here it is. Yeah, I've had an ingrowing toenail twice. The first time they cut it out and didn't do a very good job of it. So it started ingrowing again. Then because the waiting time was so long, I ended up buying a load of tools myself, sanitizing them, then ripping most of the ingrowing nail out without any kind of painkillers, because the pain was just so bad every day from it and it kept getting infected. Then when I eventually went to the hospital to get it removed properly, they're like, oh, it doesn't look so bad. Why is the cut on it so neat? I was like, well, because I pulled a load of it out myself with pliers and a scalpel. And they're like, oh, we would never recommend you do that, but you did do a good job of it. I took an NBC suit on a fun run once, and yeah, that was very uncomfortable. All right, cool. Let me have a look, Not So Midnight, and see. Check M70 NBC suit. Is that the one? The M70 looks like an actual suit. Let me see if I can find it, because this one literally looks like like a load of bin bags put together. Right. I'll get you a picture up of it. Hang on. I'm just trying to find a decent resolution picture. Right, here we go. This is the NBC suit I'm on about. This one. I don't know what the name of it is, but yeah. It looks like somebody's got bin bags on their feet, bin bags on their hands. I mean, I kind of want one for shits and giggles, but that's probably the worst NBC suit in the world, in my opinion. Well, the problem was it kept getting infected because I had an ingrown toenail. So if they gave you antibiotics, what would happen is you'd get rid of the infection and it would come straight back because you had an open wound. So that's why I ended up just saying fuck it and getting some pliers. It's his face when he realizes how fucked he is as soon as any sort of chemical weapon goes off. Because people are on about stubbing their toes, and you can get ingrowing toenails from stubbing your toes. So yeah, when people say the worst NBC suit, that is the worst one I've actually seen. That's a proper NBC suit. Because with those like last ditch NBC suits, I can at least appreciate those are like better than nothing if you want to throw something on quickly. We could also talk about suffocation if you like, because this likes to suffocate people. Up to you. World War II, just because more stuff really happened in it. It was a bit more mobile, and like the technology obviously came a lot further. I mean, I know you can say like in World War One, aeroplanes and like tanks were invented during the war, but obviously that technology was so much more sophisticated by the time of World War II. Oh yeah, because it did nearly get me, CW. So that video is a warning now. If you ever get a mask like this, make sure the oral nasal cup is open properly before you put it on. Well, it's basically a 360 field of view, Rich. The only problem is there's like little crinkles and distortions to the light. So if you look at that, like through that, that's your field of view kind of thing. You can see through it, but it's not as good as a clear lens because it's all crinkly and stupid. The thing is, if you at least forget to take the seal off a filter, you could either pull the filter off, couldn't you, or pull the mask off. The problem with this thing is it bloody seals around your neck, which makes it a lot harder to pull off. But yeah, people have died from that, where they've left a seal on a filter, and then they think they're suffocating because of gas, so they keep the mask on. Which again is just people not being trained properly to use masks when they're issued them. You can still fall unconscious though, can't you, if there's too much CO2 in the air compared to like breathable air? You wouldn't want to be in it though, would you? All right, PC Dragon Productions. No, because the oral nasal cup is like on most masks, so you can see that will cut down a bit, but otherwise, yeah, it's like 360. I'm glad it was effective, PC Dragon. If you ever get a mask like this, don't make the same mistake I did. Yeah, that's the problem with some of the other chemicals, isn't it, Rimfor? Like where you don't know anything's happening until you're essentially unconscious. Because I can't remember what I was going to say. I know, like with rebreathers, that's where some rebreathers you get the issue of where they go wrong and people suffocate because there's not enough air in there. But because there's not the CO2, they don't feel like they're suffocating. What do you mean, CW, by that? As in, look at what videos were popular previously and just remake them? I mean, I've done that before, but I'd rather make new content, to be honest. Might do if I can get somebody to hit me with it on. Yeah, I've played Dishonored 2. Yeah, I'll be off the stream fairly soon because it's just coming up to 1:15. Not 1:15, sorry. It's like an hour and 15 minutes of the stream, sorry. Yeah, I'm getting distracted now. So yeah, it's quite a while for me being on stream. We've had a lot of people watching tonight, which has been good because quite often when you stream, the numbers can be all over the place. Yeah, Ghost Jesus. I mean, that's what that Czechoslovakian suit essentially is, isn't it? So yeah, you could definitely do that. Because yeah, that's what with rebreathers as well. I think that mostly happens where, because they're still scrubbing the CO2, you've not got enough air flowing in, but there's not a CO2 buildup, so you don't. The British one or the American one? I've only ever seen the British one. I've not even watched all of that. That's all right, Skelly boy. I mean, I don't want to be super uptight, do I, on the stream? Otherwise, I'll get wound up too easily. Oh, that's the Yugoslavian M1 and the MC one, but it seems to really vary on the mask, because lots of people like me have those and have never had a problem with them, but other people have like posted pictures where they look like the, you know, in Troll 2 when they mount into the vegetables that the goblins eat. So you could actually have a video of an MC1 melting and then that guy going, they're melting her and then they're going to melt me. Oh my God. I mean, that's basically what it is. Yeah, Richard, there's a lot of things that, you know, can go horribly wrong, aren't there, when people mess about with shit like that. Yeah, that'd be cool, Ghost Jesus. You can sometimes buy them over here, but then they have to be deactivated, sadly. But I mean, you know, yeah, if you had a functioning one, that's really cool. The MC1 and the regular M1 mount sometimes because of weird like rubber composition and because they're old. So it's either if they're exposed to too much heat or some sort of chemical, the like glue in the mask just sort of breaks down. When I say MC1, I don't mean the Polish one. I mean the Yugoslavian one, because they have a mask called the M1 and the MC1. But it's not the same as the Polish one. I like doing parodies. What's wrong with doing parodies? You should do not parodies. I like doing parodies. Go on eBay and type in Shums and then you'll find one. Yeah, maybe this mask will have to feature in a parody of the, you know, the assault gas masks. This is the #1 criminal in terms of the deadly assault gas mask series. What was my favourite parody I've done? Maybe Don't Be a Hater, Bin That Respirator, but I'd say probably the Halloween free one with, you know, the asbestos filters. Yeah, that's the one, Roki. It's an American M9 copy, and they did the M1 and the MC one. The MC one is just the same one without an oral nasal cup. The GP5s on Amazon are not copies; they are actual GP5s, unless you found something really weird on there. I've done that before, CW, and people just vote on completely different things, so there's no point. Because if 20% of people vote for one thing, 40% of people vote for, you know, all that, and you never get a massive majority on one thing, everybody still complains. Terrified of what scene, Skelly boy? Oh, Are You My Mummy? That one. Suffocation mask, where are you? Here I am, I'm going to kill you. Yeah, it's Lee Enfield, and they're all on there as decoration, because they're the same ones as the poster. I've had kebab before, but I'm not a massive fan of kebab. It's not a real mask, David. It's sort of meant to look a bit like the British civilian mask, but it has two separate eyepieces, not one eyepiece, so it's not actually a real mask. It's the closest to it is probably the Swedish folk gas mask, which I've got down there, but it's just basically room for design if there's a chemical terrorist attack or something, that you can open it up out of a little pouch, put it on as quickly as possible and run away. Yeah, they all work. I was saying that the Polish one doesn't really work properly, but the mini monitor works fine and my SOX works fine. Right, I'll be off in a minute anyway. Thanks for everybody that's been chatting properly tonight. There's been a lot of very weird messages on tonight's stream. You're off anyway, Richie. I'll be going off now. But thanks for watching, everybody. This has been probably one of my most viewed streams in ages. And it's probably all thanks to this mask that wants to murder people. Well, that's because it was a real thumbnail of me suffocating that I took from the other video. But yeah, I'll see you on Twitch later then, Mike, or whatever. Right, see you all then. Bye.